Well, that's come up relatively nicely, and you can see where there are just little deficits where the bog is left. I left a little bit of excess on up here, but shape's great. Perhaps in hindsight I would have allowed this curvature to be more prominent a bit higher up, where we sort of start transitioning this way, maybe a little bit too low. Maybe we needed to be transitioning a little bit higher, but minor critiques. So, you know, if we look from the side, that side profile, look at that top edge. That side profile is definitely replicates what I see in the artifact, and that side profile, it's a little bit more subtle, that of the top edge, but you can see it rising to the peak of the lobe, but then also flaring where the lobe wants to turn around and join the rail. So this is good. It's a step in the right direction. We've smoothed this under here a little bit as well. Really the next step is to see, this is far too wide at this end, far too wide here between my thumb and finger, you know. So the next step is actually to do our final line, call it a plane shape if you like, if you want to talk in surfboard shaping terms. We want to do our final plane shape, which will sort of probably start about here, maybe a little bit out, curve in and up. Won't be as drastic as that. Once that plane shape is cut, then we can do some more refining on the edges and look at the thickness. But that's cool. That's cool. That even in its current form, that would paint well, and you'd just have one surface. There are no bubbles or deficits there. So moving on, it's all about learning. This bottom piece here, you know, the foot, I suppose you'd call it. That foot actually does help set the angle of if the lobe is pointing flat, or if the lobe is sort of pointing upwards. So I talked about this in the last video. I want to make sure when I attach these into the dish that this angle here, you know, is it pointing to the sky? Is it pointing at a 45 degrees? I want to make sure that angle pointing is right. And the only true way to do that is also, you know, using that central hub or the axle shaft, because this tip is going to be at the same height as the top of that extremity. You know, if we have to point too much, then this foot will need to be trimmed and effectively replaced. But it's all in refinement. And we'll just keep refining. Every step's a step into the unknown. I mean, but look how cool it looks. Look how cool it looks. You know, and in actually doing this, you gain a lot more respect for the restorer who found it and actually restored these lobes. And people can say, you know, their own opinion about the quality of that work, but when you're working on really dynamic shapes like this, and working around the same or very similar curves as what he did, you actually appreciate that, you know, whilst it may not have been geometrically perfect, you can totally appreciate how he got to where he did, to have that complete disc. And I think he deserves a little bit more credit than he gets. So there's my fair comment. Hope you're enjoying the journey. It's a little update. I'll just keep ticking away at this and see where we get to. And if I get to another interesting stage, I'll post another video, and we can go from there. Until next time, have a great day and stay safe, everybody.